Ever been sitting at a health checkup and heard the doctor mention you've got signs of arteriosclerosis? Or maybe, you're just living with this nagging fear that one day you're going to get that exact news? Well, if so, you are definitely not alone. There's this massive, really fatalistic myth out there that once your arteries harden, they are just ruined forever. People treat it like it's a one-way street straight to a heart attack. But let's dive into this explainer because we're going to dismantle that fear right now using pure, grounded medical science. So the big question, once your arteries hardened, is it truly impossible to ever go back? The answer is incredibly empowering, guys. That belief, it's only half true. Literally, half of it is a total myth. Now, yes, there are parts of your blood vessels that can't be restored, but there are absolutely parts that can be rescued, healed, and protected. Throwing in the towel just because you don't know the boundary between the two is a tragic waste. There's a lot of hope here, and your vessels can be protected starting today. All right, Section 1, the truth about hardened arteries. Let's look directly at the clinical realities so we understand exactly what we're dealing with. To really get to the bottom of this, we're looking at insights from Dr. Shigeo, a top cardiovascular specialist. This guy has worked at the National Cerebral and Cardiovascular Center, dealing with the absolute worst-case scenarios of arteriosclerosis. We're talking severe heart attacks and heart failure. Today, he treats over 30,000 cardiovascular patients annually. Let that sink in. 30,000 patients every single year. When a doctor with that kind of experience tells you that protecting the vessel itself is the single most important theme in cardiology, you listen, right? He knows exactly how to protect these vital pathways. But before we can fix the problem, we need to define exactly what we're fighting against. Arteriosclerosis is simply the dangerous narrowing and hardening of your blood vessels. It happens because a substance called plaque slowly builds up over time inside the vessel walls. Think of your blood vessels like brand new, flexible, pristine pipes. Arteriosclerosis basically turns them into stiff, narrow, clogged up passages where your blood just really struggles to flow. Moving on to Section 2, the tragedy inside the blood vessels. Let's take a microscopic journey to witness the silent damage that might be happening right now. Okay, so here are the 4 biological steps of how this goes down. Step 1, high blood pressure acts like a switch, literally scratching up the inner walls of your vessels. Step 2, bad LDL cholesterol seeps directly into those microscopic little scratches. Step 3, your body panics a bit and sends in macrophages. These are microscopic cleaner cells to basically eat up the fat. But step 4 is where it goes wrong. These cleaners overeat, they get super bloated, and they die, turning into this massive, mushy lump of fat that we call plaque. Now here's the crucial point about what happens next with that mushy plaque. As Dr. Shigeo warns, this plaque can suddenly rupture one day. Just imagine a pressurized, mushy balloon of fat just sitting there inside your artery. If the wall of that balloon tears open unexpectedly, all that toxic, highly inflammatory material spills right out into your bloodstream. When that plaque ruptures, your body instantly forms a blood clot to try and heal the tear, which then completely blocks the vessel. If this happens in your heart, boom, it's a myocardial infarction, a heart attack. If it happens in your brain, it's a cerebral infarction, a stroke. And here is the truly terrifying reality you need to take away from this. This entire deadly process is completely silent. You're going to feel 0 symptoms until the exact day the plaque tears and a life-threatening crisis hits. Let's take a breath. Section 3, 3 hopes to protect vessels. We're going to release some of that tension now and look at the uplifting, science-backed truth. First things first, we've got to clearly contrast what cannot be fixed with what actually can. If your vessel walls have calcified over a really long time, meaning they've turned totally rock hard, that is irreversible. You can't magically turn them back into 20-year-old blood vessels. However, what is completely reversible is plaque stability and vessel flexibility. While we can't erase those rock-hard scars, stabilizing the dangerous mushy plaque is a massive, life-saving victory that is 100% within your reach. So, our first specific hope is shrinking the plaque. Ultrasound studies have actually shown that if we drastically lower bad LDL cholesterol, the physical volume of the plaque can decrease. We call this regression. But heads up, it only shrinks by a few percent, maybe dropping from 100% down to 95%. It's not this dramatic visual reduction, which means making the plaque smaller isn't even our ultimate goal here. Which brings us to the second and absolutely most important hope. It's all about changing the fundamental nature of the plaque itself. See, vulnerable plaque has a very thin membrane, it's packed with fat, and it's highly inflamed, meaning it is extremely easy to tear. But through treatment, we can reduce that fat, calm the inflammation down, and force that outer membrane to grow thick and robust. You are effectively turning a fragile, dangerous balloon into a thick, unbreakable fortress. Even if the overall size of the plaque is exactly the same, making it unbreakable drastically lowers your risk of a sudden attack. This right here is the true path to victory. Hope number 3 is all about restoring vessel flexibility. Your blood vessels are lined with these amazing things called endothelial cells. When you're healthy, these cells produce a wonderful substance called nitric oxide, and that keeps your blood vessels soft, flexible, and young. Arteriosclerosis weakens this whole function. But here's the cool part. By simply improving your lifestyle, you can actually revive these cells. They'll start pumping out nitric oxide again, bringing all that vital bounce and flexibility back to your blood vessels. Section 4. 3 countermeasures you can do right now. Let's move away from the microscopic biology and talk about actionable steps you control today. Here are your 3 critical defense mechanisms. Number 1, lower your bad LDL cholesterol. The lower it is, the easier it becomes to stabilize that plaque. Number 2, suppress inflammation inside your body. And number 3, honestly, this is the core message you just cannot forget, strictly manage your blood pressure. Remember step 1 from earlier? High blood pressure is the root switch that scratches up the walls and starts the entire disease process. Controlling your blood pressure is the absolute best way to turn off that damage switch. This, alongside quitting smoking, managing your blood sugar, and getting some exercise, is your daily armor. Time is quite literally of the essence here. Right now, you likely have no symptoms at all, which is exactly when you have to start acting. Because if you do, months later, your plaque begins to stabilize and that inflammation drops. Fast forward years later, and your vessels are fully protected from sudden, deadly attacks. The earlier you intervene while you are symptom-free, the more reversible the damage is. Please do not wait for an attack to happen to finally start caring about your vessels. Which brings us to Section 5. Never make self-judgments. Never self-judge on this healing journey because the stakes are just way too high. First off, I really need you to tune out the noise. There are no magic pills, there are no miracle supplements, and there are definitely no secret shortcuts that will instantly clear out your blood vessels. If you see some online ad claiming, drink this powder to clean your arteries overnight, absolutely do not fall for it. Protecting your vessels requires consistent, medically sound habits, not flashy gimmicks. Secondly, there is a super common trap that so many patients fall into. Listen to this quote from Dr. Shigeo.
Can never stop statins or blood pressure medications on your own judgment.
What happens is you take your medication, you feel great, your numbers look absolutely perfect, and you think to yourself, hey, I'm cured, I'll just stop taking these pills. Stopping these meds suddenly without a doctor's guidance can cause your arteriosclerosis to progress rapidly and aggressively. Always, always consult your physician. So instead of guessing, you just need to know your current state. Dr. Shigeo highly recommends getting a simple, painless neck ultrasound, or an ABI test, which basically just measures the blood pressure in your arms and legs. These tests are incredibly simple, they put almost zero burden on your body, but they give you an exact, real-time picture of what is actually happening inside your blood vessels right now. Know your enemy so you can fight it effectively. At the end of the day, arteriosclerosis is not a disease where you just throw your hands up and surrender. Even if we can't make your arteries absolutely flawless again, we can stop the progression dead in its tracks. We can make them unbreakable, and we can make them flexible. The power to protect your cardiovascular health is sitting completely in your hands right now. So I'm going to leave you with this final, vital question to think about. Your vessels are waiting, working tirelessly to keep you alive right this very second. What will you do for them today?